Ever feel that kick in the gut when you realize your marriage went from "we're all over each other" to "hey, did you pay the Wi-Fi bill?" Yeah, that hit me square in the face like a sack of bricks. Me and Lisa, we've been hitched for 6 years now. No little ones running around. Just two grown-ups trying to carve out a decent life together. And for a while, we were killing it, man. I mean, really crushing it. We worked our tails off, scrimped and saved to buy a house, and built up a nice little pile of cash for emergencies. You know, the full look at us being adults deal. But somewhere in all that winning, something just snapped. It crept up slow at first. Stuff between us started slowing down. Not as much closeness like we used to have. Then it got downright scarce. And one day, poof, it was completely gone. Out of the blue, Lisa drops this bomb on me. I'm just not feeling it anymore. Look, I'm not some clueless dope. I know folks hit rough spots sometimes. Life gets heavy, stress, tiredness, whatever else. I get that. I kept telling myself, relax, it's just a slump. It'll blow over. Except it didn't blow over. Weeks dragged into months. I tried keeping my cool about it. I'd check in with her, like, hey, everything okay? She'd just shrug and say nope, nothing's wrong. I even floated the idea of seeing a counselor. She laughed in my face. Every time I tried talking about it, I got the same line thrown back at me. It's my body, and what I want is all that counts. Now, I've always been big on respecting her space and choices. But isn't marriage supposed to be a team effort? Guess not in Lisa's world. To her, my feelings, my needs, total non-issues. It wasn't even a discussion. It was like she handed down a royal order. And that order was, tough luck, Jake, our fun days are over. At first, I figured maybe she was wrestling with something deep inside. Maybe she just needed some breathing room. But then one night, my phone's dead, so I borrow her laptop to check my email. And bam, I stumble onto something wild. Her browser history was packed with wild stuff. How to guide your husband without him noticing. Why men should just deal and let go of closeness. Turning him down is your strength in a relationship. Getting him to act right. Perfecting the skill of tuning him out. I'm just sitting there, glued to the screen, feeling my gut drop like a rock. This wasn't some random funk or burnout. This was straight up deliberate. My wife, my teammate, was out here researching how to play me like a fiddle. And then it clicked. The icy attitude, the brush-offs, the way she'd slammed the door on any talk about us. It wasn't just her checking out. It was a freaking game plan. I shut the laptop, leaned back, and let out a long breath. I didn't know if I should crack up laughing or start stuffing my duffel bag. So, let's break it down real quick. My wife turned our marriage into her personal kingdom, where her needs ran the show, and I'm expected to just nod and go with it. Meanwhile, I'm stuck feeling like a sap, told to smile, shut up, and roll through life as a disconnected wallet with no voice. So, you want to know what I did next? I gave it my all, man. I really tried to make it work. I suggested we sit down and hash things out like two grown-ups who actually talk to each other. Lisa shot back, claiming I was some kind of needy weirdo. I threw out the idea of couples therapy, you know, something to get us back on track. She hit me with, "You're pressuring me, Jake. That's emotional abuse." I even tried pretending the whole mess didn't exist for a bit, figuring maybe time would magically glue us back together. Newsflash, it didn't. Instead, Lisa started putting on these wild shows. Big, dramatic blow-ups straight out of a Hollywood script. We're talking tears, crazy accusations, and her stomping out of the room like she's auditioning for Days of Our Lives. One night, I kept it chill and just asked her straight up, "Hey, do you even want to fix what we've got?" She shot back with, "Everything's fine with this relationship. You're the one messing it up, Jake. You're a self-centered guy, loaded with arrogant guy nonsense, hung up on your own wants. You don't care a bit about respecting me, just after your own thing." Now, I was ready to hang in there, hear her out, and grind through the muck together. But let me tell you, it's damn near impossible to have a real talk when she's standing in the living room, yelling like she's the bad guy in a superhero flick delivering her big speech. Lisa had herself convinced she was some heroic rebel, battling the evil empire of me, all men, and nature itself. Still, I kept hoping this was just a weird blip, maybe stress or something messing with her head. Then she started going to these empowerment meetups. Sounded cool at first. I'm all about strong, kick-ass women. But then she started dragging home these bizarre ideas. She hooked up with a new crew, angry, jaded ladies who talked about guys like we're the villains in a horror movie. And I'm not talking your basic, men need to pitch in with the dishes stuff. No, this was full tilt, tinfoil hat level men are leeches rants. She dropped lines like, "Women hold the damn world together. Without us, you'd all be grunting in caves, chewing on mud." I chuckled at that. Big mistake. Her face twisted up, and she snapped, "You think that's a joke? You're the problem, Jake. You don't even respect me." I took a deep breath and figured I'd lighten the mood. "Babe," I said, "I respect women so much, I might be the king of feminists. I'm crazy about women, they're awesome. That's why I put a ring on one. Hell, I think you're the most gorgeous thing walking this earth. I just want you happy, but I'm worried. This feels like depression or some kind of mental meltdown. Her response? A look of pure disgust. There's nothing off with me. You're the problem here. You're not using your brain, Jake. You're just letting your impulses take over. And right there, folks, I knew my wife had officially lost her marbles. A week crawled by after Lisa proudly announced my brain was parked below my belt. 8 days of stony silence, awkward dinners, and me scratching my head, wondering how we ended up in this dumpster fire. I was still clinging to this tiny shred of hope that we could patch things up, that maybe she wasn't totally gone off the deep end and we just needed the right nudge. So, I did what any desperate guy with a shred of dignity would do. I called in the pros. 2 of them, actually. First up was a psychologist, a normal one, the kind who deals with folks not talking right or marriages going sideways. He sat there, jotting stuff down, then leaned in and said, Jake, this sounds less like a slump and more like a power grab. She's calling all the shots, and you're supposed to salute and fall in line. But a marriage, especially the bedroom part, that's about teamwork, not her playing queen of the castle. That tracked, but I still didn't get why she was pulling this stunt. So, I went to pro number 2, a sexologist. Lisa would have sooner wrestled a bear than see one herself, so I got sneaky. I rigged up a little hidden camera in the living room, not to be creepy, just to replay her antics later and figure her out. Then I invited Dr. Carter, this big-deal sexologist, over for a laid-back, no-drama chat. So, I stroll into the house with Dr. Carter in tow, and Lisa's already wound up tighter than a drum. She clocks him, squints hard, and goes, Who's this clown? I try to keep it cool. Babe, meet Dr. Carter. He's a pro at sorting out relationship stuff. She cuts me off, flipping out before I can even finish. Oh, for crying out loud, Jake. You dragged a doctor into our living room? Are you out of your freaking mind? I start to say something, but she's already in full-on tantrum mode. You're pathetic. You really think I'm the one with issues? You honestly believe you can haul some know-it-all in here to fix me? This is mortifying. Dr. Carter, cool as a cucumber, doesn't even flinch. He just says, real calm, Mrs. Lisa, I'm not here to patch anybody up. I'm just trying to help you both figure this out. Zip it, geek, she fires back. I drop my face into my hands. Step 1, make me feel like dirt. Step 2, dunk on the expert. Before it can spiral any further, Dr. Carter switches gears. Listen, Lisa, no stress here. How about we just chat openly about why things like closeness have turned into a battlefield? That's when the vibe shifts hardcore. Lisa's still pissed, but then the smirk creeps across her face, like she's a supervillain about to unveil her grand scheme. She leans in, oozing confidence, and says, all right, since my husband's so hung up on this, I've got an answer. I brace myself, not sure what's coming. If Jake's so torn up over not getting any action, he's free to find it somewhere else. I blink. Wait, what? She keeps going, smug as hell. See, I'm a great wife. I'm letting my man go blow off steam with some needy chick out there. Problem solved. Dr. Carter's eyes widen. He's clearly never heard that curveball before. Me? I'm just gaping at her, trying to wrap my head around this insanity. Hold up, I say, real slow. You're seriously fine with me stepping out? Like, going on a date with another woman? She folds her arms, lets out a scoff. Oh, spare me. You guys are all wired the same, only after one thing. So go on, sweetie, scratch that itch. Just don't come whining back to me about it. I shoot a look at Dr. Carter. He glances back. We're both totally speechless. Lisa? She just snags her phone, flops onto the couch, and starts scrolling like she didn't just hand me a hall pass to cheat. Guess that talk was done. Dr. Carter and I share one last, what the hell, look before we slink out the door. Stepping outside, I suck in a big breath and let it go. I'd walked in hoping for a light bulb moment. Instead, I got a freebie, and something told me this was only the start. Fast forward 2 days after that wild permission bomb, and I'm planted in Dr. Carter's office, staring at the hidden camera footage like it's some cryptic clue to my crumbling life. He's next to me, arms crossed, scribbling notes every now and then. I keep rewinding that bit where Lisa nonchalantly tells me to go cheat, like it's no big deal. So, Doc, what's your take? I ask, rubbing my aching temples. He lets out a slow breath. Jake, straight talk? This isn't just about the bedroom stuff. There's something bigger brewing under the surface. I lean forward. Like what? Some buried trauma? She's sneaking around? Maybe she joined a weird cult. I'm half kidding, but not really. Tough to pin down, he says. But one thing's obvious, she's playing a game, and she's betting on you folding. I stare at the screen, watching Lisa's smug grin as she brushes me off like I'm some chump groveling for crumbs. So what's my move? Dr. Carter pauses, choosing his words. Usually, I'd say talk it out, try therapy, find some middle ground. But with this kind of head trip power play, she's gunning for total control, Jake, and right now, she thinks she's got it locked. I slump back in the chair, mulling it over. For months, I'd thrown everything at this, patience, reason, bending over backwards. Zilch worked. So if Lisa was daring me to go relieve my stress elsewhere, fine. I'd take her up on it. And I'd push this whole absurd mess to the edge, just to see where it lands. If you ever need proof the universe loves a good laugh, try firing up a dating app after years out of the game. I wasn't even going hard at it. Just figured I'd grab a beer with someone, shoot the breeze, maybe claw back a scrap of self-respect. But then I met Mia. Man, Mia was a blast, not in some crazy, party girl way, just easygoing. No drama traps, no sneaky motives, none of that bizarre feminist tug-of-war. She had this infectious laugh, a sharp sense of humor, and could turn even the lamest chit-chat into something fun. I laid out my situation, trying not to sound like a total lunatic. She snorts into her margarita and goes, "Wait, let me get this right. Your wife basically evicted you from your own marriage and thinks she's the champ here?" I nod, and she just grins. Mia smirked at me over her drink. Wow, she's got a real shot coming her way. That night, man, I remembered what it felt like to just chill. No stress hanging over me, no guilt trips, no tiptoeing around like I'm dodging landmines. Just kicking back and being me. For the first time in forever, I felt like I could breathe, free and easy. But peace didn't last long. The storm rolled in fast. One night, I'm lounging in my new spot. Yep, my apartment, since I'd officially ditched the old place, when my phone starts going nuts with a flood of texts from Lisa. At first, I just let it buzz. Then curiosity got me, and I caved. Dumb move. I pick up, and bam, she's screaming like she's auditioning for Broadway. "You cheated on me, you jerk." I yank the phone away from my ear, totally thrown. What?" I say, squinting like I misheard her. "Don't you want me, Jake? I've got the dirt on your little fling. I know it all." Oh, so she'd sniffed out Mia. Thing is, I wasn't even trying to hide it. I'm not into her sneaky head game crap. "Hold on a sec," I say, barely holding back a laugh. "You're the one who flat out told me to go relieve my stress somewhere else, and now you're pissed I actually did it?" She screeches back, "Don't you dare twist what I said." I pinch my nose, exasperated. "No twisting needed, Lisa. I can replay that convo word for word." Dead air. Guess I struck a chord. Then she switches lanes. "You're a slimy, selfish pig. You never gave a damn about me, just chasing your one-track mind. I should have known you'd cave like a weakling. Classic move, slam me with insults till I buckle. You get that this whole mess is you're doing, right?" I shoot back. "You shot down therapy, wouldn't talk, shut down anything physical. Hell, you wouldn't even admit something was off. But the second I follow your exact orders, I'm the villain now." More silence. Then, the big one drops. "I'm divorcing you, Jake. You're a cheater and a liar. And here's the kicker, since you trashed our marriage, I'll be cashing in for all the emotional hell you put me through." I bust out laughing. Probably not my slickest move, but come on, how do you not? "Compensation?" I echo. "For what? Doing what you told me to?" "You think you're so clever," she snaps. "Well, the courts are gonna see me as the victim here, and you're about to pay up big time." Oh, now I saw it clear as day. She never meant for me to step out. This was a setup. She figured I'd lose it, grovel for her, or at least screw up bad enough to tank myself legally. Too bad for her. I wasn't stumbling into that trap blind. If you want to know how long someone's been scheming, just watch M light up when they finally spring it. Lisa was in her element. The second she filed for divorce, she turned into a force of nature, snagged a hotshot lawyer, started rocking power suits, strutting like she's the star of some legal thriller. She wasn't crushed or moping. Nah, she was pumped. This wasn't her reeling from my betrayal, it was her master plan kicking into gear. Me? I wasn't exactly sweating it. I lawyered up, kept my cool, and carried on living my life. While Lisa was out there plotting her epic payback, I was hanging with Mia. Mia, who didn't make me guess what she's thinking. Mia, who didn't turn every chat into a showdown. Mia, with her easy laugh, taco obsession, and zero interest in control games. The difference was night and day, man. When D-Day rolled around, I was locked and loaded. Lisa marches into court like she's already won. Chest puffed out, legal squad in tow, rehearsed lines ready to roll. I could practically see the headlines dancing in her head. Heartbroken wife seeks justice from dirtbag cheater. She's banking on me flailing, maybe begging. What she didn't count on was me being way ahead of her game. When my moment came to lay it all out in court, I kept it chill and just spilled the whole deal. I walked the judge through how I'd busted my hump to keep our marriage afloat, pitching therapy, begging for real talks, even dragging in pros to help us out. Then I hammered home how Lisa shot down every single fix I threw her way. And for the grand finale, I whipped out the video. Lisa's face locked up like she'd seen a ghost. She had no clue I'd caught that little chat on tape. The second the judge hit play, her voice blasted through the courtroom, crystal clear, laying out her own trap. She told me straight up to go find intimacy elsewhere if I was so desperate, even tossing in a sarky, "Go ahead, sweetie," to seal the deal. The place went dead quiet. Her lawyer looked like he wanted the floor to swallow him whole. The judge, rubbing his forehead like he'd heard enough, called up my psychologist to break it down. The doc, cool as ever, explained how this wasn't me stepping out, it was Lisa running a cold, calculated play to jerk me around. I just kicked back in my seat, totally at ease, watching her whole argument crumble like a stale cookie. After hours of legal ping-pong, the judge dropped his verdict. Everything split right down the middle, 50-50. No alimony, no extra payouts, just a clean break. I was over the moon with that. I wasn't out for blood or some big win. I just wanted out. Half of it all? Hell yeah, I could work with that. I'd rebuild, start fresh, no sweat. Lisa, though? She was steaming. She'd been gunning for the whole pot, dreaming of me wrecked and groveling. Instead, she stormed out with just half, her big scheme blown to bits. Me, I strolled out feeling like a free man, done with the endless fights, the draining mind games, done with her. For the first time in ages, I felt this lightness, like a weight had finally lifted. Life after the divorce? Man, it's been a blast. Mia and I have been hitting every taco spot in town, jumping in the car for random road trips, just soaking up the good vibes. No drama, no control freaks, no tiptoeing around, just straight up, easy joy. Then one day, something wild caught my eye. I'm scrolling the news, sipping coffee, when this headline nearly makes me choke. Some big shot execs tangled in a corporate mess, accused of twisting arms and pulling strings at work. I smashed that link faster than you can blink, and guess who's at the center? Lisa's old boss. Turns out this sleaze had been messing with a bunch of women at the company, dangling promotions and bonuses like bait, then ditching them once he got his kicks. Ring any bells? I had to know more, so I hit up an old buddy of Lisa's from work, someone tied into the company's investigation. We grab a couple beers, and he lays it all out. Lisa was neck deep in that chaos. Her boss had reeled her in with the same slick promises, big career boosts, special perks, then left her high and dry. When she figured out she'd been played, she flipped her lid. Here's the real twist. She'd been sneaking around with the guy behind my back. It wasn't just a quick hookup. She thought she was locking down her future, climbing the ladder with all the trimmings. But instead of hitting the jackpot, she got burned hard. Twice over. When it clicked that she was just another pawn in his slimy game, she pushed back. He retaliated, yanked her from big projects, slashed her cash, even tried to boot her out. This went on for months, right around when she started losing it at home. And get this, instead of owning her mess or pointing the finger at him, she turned all that rage on me. In her head, it wasn't her fault, wasn't even her boss's fault, it was men. Every last one of us. I was just the nearest punching bag, the easiest mark. Sitting there, soaking it all in, this weird calm settled over me. It all clicked into place, the sudden cold shoulder, the control obsession, that bizarre feminist kick she'd been on, the whole divorce hustle. She wasn't just out to stick it to me, she was swinging at every guy out there because of what that one creep did. I'd been caught in the crossfire. Difference is, I actually gave a damn about her, never fed her lies, never stabbed her in the back. Yet I'm the one she wanted to watch bleed. Funny how that shakes out. What happened to Lisa after the dust settled? No clue. She bounced to a new job, a new city. Maybe she reinvented herself. Maybe she found a fresh target. Me? I walked away with my head clear, my bank account solid, and a hell of a woman by my side. Sanity, stability, and Mia, that's more than enough for me. If you liked hearing this wild ride, hit that subscribe button. Here's to good vibes and smooth sailing ahead.